Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. This is Joe Stunner. If you're new to the channel, you know the drill. Subscribe, hit the like button, share the video. Whatever support you can offer, you're all right by me. Okay, so some of you are no doubt DAZN subscribers, which I am. And DAZN sent out a questionnaire today announcing that they are going to run pay-per-view fights. Now, when DAZN started in this country, in the UK, it was $1.99. That was never going to last. I mean, $1.99, bargain of the century. Now I think it's $7.99. I stuck with it because I think $7.99 is good value, and I love my boxing. But I want to talk a bit about pay-per-view and obviously get your feedback on it. Now, I'm old enough to remember when satellite television was first introduced. I go way, way back to the time of closed circuit television, where you go and watch fights in cinemas. The last one I saw was the first Frank Bruno, Mike Tyson fight. Was it 89? I think I paid 25 or 30 quid to go and watch it in the cinema in Leicester Square. Then satellite television comes along, courtesy of Mr. Murdoch, and Sky is founded. And after that, they started to introduce this thing called pay-per-view. Now, I bought pay-per-view. I had Sky TV in the early 90s. I bought pay-per-view. But then I was thinking, nah, enough's enough. Enough's enough. In this country, you've got to buy your television, you've got to buy a TV license, you've got to subscribe to Sky. Now they want pay-per-view. I said, no. I bought a few. I think the last one was the first Mike Tyson Holyfield fight, or maybe it was the second one. I don't know. But that's, 25 years ago. And pay-per-view became a regular staple for boxing fans. But 10 years ago, was it, roughly? Let's say 10 years for the sake of argument. It kind of died a death, and it was partially killed by the farce that was the Audley Harrison fight. Complete non-event, or non-performance by Harrison, won by Hay at a canter, very, very easy win. And an awful lot of fans, thank goodness, said, the hell with this, I'm not paying for junk like this anymore. So pay-per-view ended. Eddie Hearn gets his contract with Sky, exclusive contract, and he wants to reintroduce pay-per-view, but he knows the public they're not down with it. So the current pay-per-view epidemic, call it what you will, all these pay-per-views that are now occurring, the way it's become a staple for any boxing fan that you've got to pay for this pay-per-view gig. This can be traced back to the rematch between Tony Bellew and Nathan Cleverly. If memory serves, it was offered for £12 pay-per-view, I think, on Sky. And the undercard was stacked. And Hearn, being the used car salesman that he is, it's no surprise that as a teenager he sold double glazing over the phone. I'm old enough to remember those annoying so-and-sos who'd phone you up while you were having your tea and try and flog your windows that you didn't want. He did the old Essex boy spiel, the old patter. 12 quid, come on, what's 12 quid? You get four of you together, it's £3, for a night of boxing, it's great. And in fairness, that Bellew Cleverly 2 undercard was very, very good. So yeah, you can argue that you got your money's worth, okay. But that was really dipping his toes in the water, trying to find out what will the public go for. Can we revitalize the whole pay-per-view concept? Can we build a base of people who are prepared to put their money, put their hands in their pockets and pull out their hard-earned cash for more and more boxing? And so, the 12 quid then became 15 quid for the next pay-per-view and so on and so forth. Now we have £25 for the last couple of AJ fights. Don't kid yourself for a second, it's going to stop there. Look, these are people that they're interested in making money. They're businessmen. And Eddie Hearn, he may or may not be a nice guy in person, but he's a businessman. He wants to make as much money for his clients as he possibly can. So does Frank Warren, so does Bob Arum, they all do. They all do. It's just that Eddie's, he's younger, he's a bit more savvy, he likes a bit of banter, he comes across as being, a bloke you could have a drink with in a pub and you have a good laugh with. And he might be a nice guy, I don't know. So we now get to the point where DAZN, by the way, when Eddie picked up with DAZN, he said, pay-per-view's dead. The Americans, they're paying $100 for a Mayweather. I mean, more fool you. If you paid $100 for a pay-per-view in America, you deserve to be ripped off. You can't legislate for stupidity. But Eddie said, no, DAZN's killing pay-per-view. DAZN is the alternative. So if you're a DAZN subscriber today, you will have received that, that survey kind of testing the waters, seeing, what would you pay for? Would you pay this amount? Would you pay that amount? What about this potential fight? If you filled out the survey, you know what I mean. They want to know how much they can charge. Now, there's a simple solution to killing pay-per-view. Don't buy it. But we've all got to not buy it. It's like anything else. United we stand, divided we fall. Everything that we take for granted in modern society, whether it's the NHS, whether it's the rights of women or gay people, or whether it's the welfare state or workers' rights, united we stood. And that's why we've got those rights. Because otherwise, if we'd all remained divided, we wouldn't have those rights. Well, on a much smaller scale, a much more local scale, if you like, a much more niche scale. It's the same with pay-per-view and boxing, or anything else in life. If you all refuse it, they won't go for it. And yes, do you know what? Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury and Canelo, and they won't be getting their $50 million purses. They'll have to make do, God bless them, maybe with 20 million, or dare I even say it, 10 million. Should we have a whip round for them? This especially irritates me because Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua are two people who, certainly in the case of Fury, purport to be, men of the people. Good old working class boys made good, which in effect they are. They're both, both from, working class backgrounds. They've done well. But if you insist that you get paid $50 million or pounds or whatever, when you could say, no, come on, I've made enough tens of millions. Let's give the people something back. I'll take 10 million. I'll take 15 million. If they could say that and they're not doing it, don't talk to me about them being men of the people. Don't talk to me about it. There's this idea, more is never enough. Even when people are so gorged on their own greed and they're puking up, they still want more. So this pay-per-view thing with DAZN, how's it going to work out? I don't know, but if we all fly with it, if we all go for it and we all put up with it, it'll get worse. They'll probably say, all right, it's a tenner for this particular set of fights. Then 2-3 years time it'll be 15 quid, 20 quid, 25 quid, 30, 50 quid. If you can't see that, I have great pity for you. And I think at best you can be described as naive. But anyway, what do you think of pay-per-view? What do you think of the whole concept of... The lights went off then. What do you think of the whole concept of pay-per-view, of how far it can go, of how much will you tolerate? How much are you prepared to pay? How much more are you prepared to pay? You may be one of those people that's got, you paid for your TV license, you subscribe to Sky, your Sky Sports, DAZN, Fight Zone, whatever the hell else is out there, all the different zones. Are you going to pay more and more and more and more and more? What do you think? Leave your comments, leave your opinions on. You may agree with what I've said in this video. You may not agree. If you want to debate something, that's fine, as long as it's done respectfully. I don't give a damn. I'll talk to anyone. Again, I appreciate your support. Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe, and yeah, we'll speak soon. You take care now.